Radio Freccia. Libera come noi.
Today we have the massive pleasure to be here with Brian Bell. Massive, huge pleasure to be here with Brian Bell from the Weezer. Let's start from a huge welcome back, because it's been almost 20 years since the last time you played here in Italy. How does it feel?
It feels, I don't know, it's kind of shocking that it's been so long, and I have no good reason why that is. You know, it's such an amazing country and so many big cities like Milan and Rome, but we ended up playing Modena, and almost it was like a picnic, and now we're in Bologna. How do you pronounce it?
It's
Bologna.
Bologna.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we've been wondering if it was Bologna or Bologna or Bologna. Yeah, that's where we are. Yeah.
So it's because you were telling me before that, like, the music business is something that it's kind of different from what people can see when you think about concerts, when you think about festivals.
That's what I've been told. I've been told it's really hard to do business in from America to Italy. That this just in general the way business is done is a lot different. Doesn't mean it's worse or better or anything. It's just it's not the same, and I don't know if that's changed, but that's what it was 20 years ago. I remember the word efficiency being thrown around a lot. I think like the American agents for music and stuff wanted things a certain way, and if things didn't meet that criteria, then they weren't going to send an American band over here. There's just so many people involved when it comes to doing these tours and shows from out in different countries. But somehow this one made it. This made our tour. We're very happy about it.
Yeah, we're very happy about it too, and I have many questions to ask you, because this year has been kind of intense for you. You released 2 albums, the Teal album and the Black album, and I want to start from the Black album. First of all, which is the main theme around this album, or the main themes, if there are more than one?
Yeah. Well, the Black album was sort of conceived at the same time as the White album was conceived, and the White album was going to be like the beachy side of LA, and even though it was like kind of sad and to me like summer, like I submitted a song called Endless Bummer, and I always equate the summer as kind of a sad time, because it's just so oppressively hot, and I remember being in summer vacation at school. I couldn't wait to get back to school because that's where my friends were. It was just kind of like after a while you got bored and you weren't motivated, and you're just like, I want to get back to, personally I did want to get back to school, honestly. And then I always found like the beach to be kind of depressing, like beach bums and like the seagulls and I don't know, just I'm not that fun-loving beach guy, but I do like the city, and I live in Los Angeles, and so the Black album was supposed to be, or sort of is, the darker side of the LA city life. It was that, black and white.
Just a question about summer. Have you ever had that feeling of not knowing the day you were in during summer, because time feels like so flat? You don't know if it's Monday or if it's Saturday, because
it's a bizarre feeling, and I think it's an uneasy feeling for me, because I like structure and order and some sort of routine where I feel like I'm moving forward. In summer, you're just sort of like floating by, and that's the bummer part of it to me. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, talking about the Black album.
Also, mowing yards in the summer. Those are the worst.
Okay, we know the Weezer don't like, at least Brian doesn't like summers. Me neither. I'm super white. I just get burned all the time. Okay, talking about the Black album, for the Record Store Day, you released the vinyl edition, April 13th. Are you a big supporter of the Record Store Day, and what do you think about this vinyl comeback? Because vinyls are back, definitely.
I mean, obviously, I'm in the music business. Any kind of comeback, any kind of music it's a great thing. I love the sound of vinyl. I think more than even the sound of vinyl and the size of the record and the fact that you can put real artwork on it is the format of a A-side and a B-side of a record, because I feel like it's the perfect amount of time, especially in our daily routine now, where it's really hard for people to focus, and it seems like you can put one side of a record on, sit down and actually listen to it without doing anything, and that, you know, you're not asking too much of somebody. It's not like, you know, a whole 60 minutes of a record or 45 minutes of a record. It's usually about 13 and a half minutes or something, and to me it just feels like the right amount of time, and then when it stops, then you can do a few things, take a break from your listening, and then flip it over and listen to the other side. So that's what's so great about records to me, is the format of the length of the record.
So you could say that vinyls are very actual, like very modern, very like perfect for the period of our life now.
You're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's fitting kind of our lifestyle now of just get somebody to put your phone down for a second. You know, don't listen to music on your phone. And sit there and scroll. When I look at iTunes and I see all those icons of all the different, I get so confused and uninspired to listen to anything on it. So I really like vinyl. It's not just because I'm a Luddite, as they call it. It's a word for someone that doesn't want change. Yeah, a Luddite. Yeah, it's. I don't know. There's definitely a cool factor involved with records, but I don't think that's it. I just think it's the sound meets the right amount of, you know, time. Like, we figured this out already. You know, like this is the best. The beauty of having something, but you know, you also have to have somewhere to put it. So hopefully you have a place that you're not always moving around, and I think that's maybe a thing. Like, when you're younger, you're always moving. Like, every year you feel like you're moving. Hopefully you're moving like forward in life and better than the last place. But you know, when you finally have your own place where you're settled down, then you can start collecting. You know, and if it's a good feeling, and that's one of the advantages of touring is getting to see all parts of the world, and then, you know, getting little knickknacks here and there. A poster, Italian movie poster, is what I wanted today, but you know, bringing those back home and, you know, collecting their memories with, like, oh, look, remember the time I went to Bologna, you know? Yeah.
Great pronunciation. What were the reaction towards the Black Album? Like, how was it, like, welcomed by your fans, for example?
I don't think it was welcomed all that well. Our fans are an interesting bunch of people, where they seem to really love us, so much so that they love to, like, cut us down, and it's like they want us to keep putting out the same record or whatever. You know, it seems like they can never be pleased.
I know we're supposed to talk about the Black Album, but we've also presently are recording 2 more records, and one of these records is my favorite record we've ever done, and I'm hopefully finally will appease some people. But it's so different sounding that you know, it's inevitable that someone's going to be frustrated by it. But to me, it's the most musical and exciting thing we've done in our whole career, for sure.
Can we know the title and the color?
Well, the color hasn't been chosen. I don't think it does. It's not necessarily a color album, but it's the title right now is OK Human.
Okay. Yeah. Can we know when it will be released?
No, because we have no idea ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. We're working on it right now. Yeah.
You're working.
There's another record we're doing called Van Weezer, which is going to be, maybe will come out before OK Human, but that's very rock, kind of like a homage to these classic rock songs that we grew up with, and sort of doing new things with, but definitely guitar based rock.
Okay, rock. So And let's talk about the other album, the Teal album. That was I know that actually. Yeah, you released so many albums. I mean,
it's been really even the last year, I think, year and a half. It's been nonstop, either touring, writing, or recording. And we have management that like looks at our schedule and said, "Oh, you have a week here, so let's get you guys in the studio before you go out on this tour." And there's your life that you have to lead too, and somehow you have to fit your life into all this. It's a balance.
But it feels that after all these years, your creative process never stops. I mean, you always find a source of inspiration.
True, but we've had lulls in our career where we have had what we call hiatuses, and we've been like gaps of 3 years. And you don't forget those. I mean, you're like, I don't ever want that to happen again. So when we do feel like we're in a creative, role, I want to like just go with it and move forward, and we'll have those hiatuses, later,
But okay, I think we don't have like I would like to ask you so many questions, and now you started talking about your fan base. I have this question that is connected to
questions, and you can edit it, right?
Okay. Okay. Talking about your fan base, yeah.
This is fantastic. I'm not saying anything negative about our fans. I'm just saying that a lot of times we put out records, the hardcore fans aren't pleased, and they'll never be pleased.
Yeah, but I mean, is it true? Because I read that probably one of the reasons that led you to record a Teal album was because of a fan of yours that was pushing you to cover Africa by Toto. Is it true?
Yeah, that is true. She's 15 years old, or at the time was, and our fans are in different sets of subgroups, and she's a different subgroup than probably I would consider hardcore fan. But she sent a tweet saying that she wanted Rivers or Weezer to record Africa. Thought it would be a good idea. We ended up doing it, and people seemed to like it. So then, because of that, we ended up making a whole covers record.
And what is the process that leads you to choose those songs? Because when you release a cover album, I mean, you have so many songs to choose from.
Yeah. Well, Rivers seems to be very interested and just in the new music world of how everything's sort of data-based, and you can like look on Spotify and see how many times your songs have been played, and what songs people are listening to, and it is kind of fascinating to see that there are charts with this information, and so he's been like learning how to program computers himself, write code, and part of this writing code is to figure out what songs and in different parts of the world people listen to Weezer, or what Weezer songs they like the most. Now there's a lot of that kind of data. It can't answer every question, like not everybody listens to just Spotify, as we found out. But I think the Teal album was based sort of on the same principle, and I believe Spotify was a big contributor to that.
To have the information that you needed.
Yeah, the information we needed. Then we saw the songs. Some of them were actually organic, like the Black Sabbath song that I sang, because we were doing it live, and I was singing the beginning of it, and then it was like, well, let's just do the whole song and you sing the whole thing, because we were trying to like make 10 songs, and then at the very last minute, Rivers said, I want to do Stand By Me. I don't know if that had anything to do with Spotify or not, or it was just one that he really liked and he thought he could really sing well and do a good job on.
So there are many reasons. So thank you so much. We unfortunately ran out of time, but it was really nice meeting you, and we wait for you in Milan. Come to our studio so that you can play like in a kiss.
I mean, it's a shame that we've never been.
That's true. So you said it. So we wait for you now. Okay. Thank you very much.
Radio Freccia. Libera come noi.